Hello, my name is Victoria and I'm glad to see you on my channel. When I first moved to the Netherlands, I assumed Dutch kitchen would be just like any other in Europe. A kettle, a toaster, a few pots and pans, nothing unusual, but then I started noticing some very strange objects. First, there was a little rubber tool designed to scrape every last drop of yogurt out of a bottle. Then I discovered a gadget made specifically for slicing cheese. After that, I found a device whose only purpose is to poke a tiny hole in an egg before you boil it. And that's when it hit me. The Dutch have invented an entire collection of kitchen tools that hardly exist anywhere else in the world. Some of them are surprisingly clever. Others seem completely ridiculous until you actually use them. Today, I'll show you some of the strangest kitchen gadgets you'll find in Dutch homes, explain why the Dutch swear by them, and reveal what these little inventions say about Dutch culture. You might even end up wanting one yourself. Let's start with what is probably the most iconic Dutch kitchen invention of them all, the Flessenlikker. The name is hilarious when translated literally. It means bottle liquor. But there is another Dutch name for it as well, Flessenschrapper, which means bottle scraper. Honestly, both names describe it perfectly. The first time I saw one in my Dutch husband's kitchen, I genuinely thought, wait, someone actually invented a special tool just for this? It couldn't look any simpler. A long plastic handle, a flexible rubber tip shaped like a half circle, that's it. But that's exactly where its brilliance lies. The rubber head bends just enough to slide through the narrow neck of a bottle or carton. Once it's inside, it springs back into shape, allowing you to scrape every last bit from the sides. And when I say every last bit, I mean everything. Yogurt, mayonnaise, ketchup, chocolate spread, sauces, honey, and of course, one of the Netherlands' favorite desserts, fla. A rich vanilla or chocolate custard that's found in almost every Dutch refrigerator. Most foreigners love the first time they see a Flessenlikker. It looks like one of those unnecessary kitchen gadgets that nobody really needs. But the Dutch see it very differently. Their response is very simple. Why would you throw away something you've already paid for? And that perfectly illustrates the difference between being cheap and being economical. To a Dutch person, the yogurt left clinging to the sides to a container isn't just a few forgotten spoonfuls. It's food. Food that can still be eaten. Throwing it away means throwing away money. That's why the Flessenlikker has become a symbol of one of the most famous Dutch values, Zuinigheid. There's no perfect English translation for this word. It means being sensible with money, avoiding waste, and making the most of what you already have. It's not about denying yourself, it's about using resources wisely. This little tool reflects the philosophy perfectly. Its history is surprisingly interesting too. Although similar scrappers existed before, it was in the Netherlands that the Flessenlikker became a true household icon. In the 1950s, a Dutch family company called Tiger Plastics began manufacturing it, and in 1967 the design received an official patent. Today you will still find the Flessenlikker in almost every Dutch kitchenware store. And here's the funny part. Many foreigners laugh when they first see one, only to end up buying one themselves a few weeks later. If the Flessenlikker represents Dutch thriftiness, then the Kaasschaaf represents another national obsession – cheese. At first glance, it looks almost identical to a vegetable peeler. But the moment you use it, you realize it was designed for an entirely different purpose. The Kaasschaaf slices cheese into perfectly thin, even pieces that are almost impossible to achieve with a regular knife. Ironically, despite how closely it's associated with the Netherlands today, it wasn't invented here at all. The cheese slicer was created in Norway in 1925 by carpenter Thor Bjørklund. Inspired by a word-working plane, he designed a tool that shaved thin slices of a block of cheese with incredible precision. The invention spread across Europe, but Norway embraced it quite like the Netherlands. And that's hardly surprising. The Dutch are among the world's biggest cheese lovers. Cheese for breakfast, cheese for lunch, cheese sandwiches, cheese platters with wine. Many Dutch refrigerators contain several different varieties at the same time. Yes, there's another reason why the Kaasschaaf became such an essential kitchen tool. It produces slices that are always exactly the same thickness. That means your cheese lasts longer. Once again, we see the famous Dutch idea of Zuinigheid at work. The goal isn't to eat less cheese. Far from it. The goal is simply to use it efficiently and avoid unnecessary waste. It's a small detail, but one that perfectly matches the Dutch mindset. And interestingly, many foreigners who try a Kaasschaaf for the first time end up saying exactly the same thing. I don't think I can ever go back to using a knife. It's one of those tools that seems unnecessary until you've actually used it. The next gadget makes many foreigners raise an eyebrow. Because yes, this is a device whose only job is to make a tiny hole in an egg. It's called an Eierprikker, which literally means egg pricker. And the way it works is wonderfully simple. Before boiling an egg, you gently pierce the rounded end with a tiny needle. The hole is so small that nothing leaks out. So why do this at all? The idea is that the hole allows air from the egg's air pocket to escape during heating. That reduces pressure inside the shell and supposedly makes the egg less likely to crack while boiling. Some people insist it makes a huge difference. Others say it changes absolutely nothing. And honestly, that's part of the charm of these Dutch kitchen gadgets. In most countries, people don't even know such a tool exists. But in the Netherlands, the Eierprikker has been sitting in kitchen drawers for decades, right next to corkscrew and can opener. It's especially popular among older generations, although you can still buy one today in almost any Dutch home goods store. If there is one fruit the Dutch truly love to bake with, it's apples. Walk into almost any cafe in the Netherlands and you'll find the Dutch apple pie, thick, fragrant and often served with a generous mountain of whipped cream. Families bake it on weekends, for birthdays, holidays and cozy evenings. It's no surprise that the Dutch created a special tool just for preparing apples. Instead of carefully cutting out the core with a knife, you simply push a metal tube through the center of the apple and pull the core out in one motion. Quick, neat, and with almost no waste. If you regularly bake apple pies or make baked apples, this little tool genuinely saves a surprising amount of time. At first, it seems like another unnecessary kitchen gadget. But after preparing a few kilos of apples for baking, you suddenly understand why many Dutch families have been using the same core for decades. Sandwich bags. Technically, this isn't even a kitchen tool, but it's impossible to talk about Dutch food culture without mentioning it. Because sandwiches are particularly a national tradition here. In many countries, adults buy lunch every day. In the Netherlands, an enormous number of people make their lunch at home in the morning. Put it into a boterhamzakje, a simple sandwich bag, and take it to work, school or university. In my family, we also use them, and they're different sizes, like this, with a zipper. Yeah, you can close your sandwich, then it keeps it safe. Very nice. And there is also a smaller version of it. Just for something small, for example, slices of apple that I prepare for my daughter. She also goes to school and uses these boterhamzakjes. And during lunch breaks, it's completely normal to see office workers, doctors, managers, students pulling homemade sandwiches out of their bags, and usually with cheese, sometimes with peanut butter, and occasionally with something that surprises many foreigners: chocolate sprinkles, hagelslag. For outsiders, this can look unusual, but for the Dutch, it's an everyday life. Why buy a simple sandwich for several times the price when you can make it at home in 2 minutes? It's cheaper. You know exactly what you are eating. And it fits perfectly with the Dutch mindset of being practical and avoiding unnecessary expenses. That's why even an ordinary sandwich bag has become part of a Dutch daily culture. Sometimes the smallest objects reveal more about the country than its famous landmarks ever could. So, which of these Dutch kitchen gadgets surprised you the most? Was it the bottle scraper or the Eierprikker? And here's another question. Is there a kitchen gadget that's completely normal in your country but would seem strange to everybody else? I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below if you enjoyed this little tour through Dutch kitchens. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because trust me, the country is full of fascinating traditions, clever inventions, and everyday habits that most people outside the Netherlands have never even heard of. And we've only scratched the surface. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!